Here we go. All right, we're drinking some Freedom beers. This is
I don't feel free.
This is episode 2. Just heard the guest voice. So I didn't start the first one with like any real fucking jargon. So jargon, you know what I mean? Didn't start with like any fucking real intro. So this we all make music. We're musicians. That's what we want to do. So this is what we want to do. I just think sometimes you got to do some other stuff in the process. You know what I mean? I'm a dude that wants to learn how to do everything. I want to learn how to fucking do audio, mix fucking songs. Brad's still coughing. I want to learn how to do it all. I want to learn how to edit videos. So this is just part of the journey. So, Brad, we got Brad.
We're live with Brad.
I was gonna call you Brad Stevens. Why?
Ooh,
who is that?
Brad Stevens.
Sounds like that. I know who that is. I
don't.
don't.
Oh no, Celtics, old head coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now he's front office guy, and they go to the finals.
Yeah. Not Brad Stevens. That'd be way cooler. This is Brad Caruso. This dude, we went to high school together. We went to actually middle school and high school together, and elementary school probably. I just don't remember you from back then. This guy used to walk around the middle school with a fucking ukulele strapped to his back when we were in 6th and 7th grade. So just picture that.
Commando and skinny jeans.
Exactly. So, which is cool. You know what I mean? It's cool.
Yeah, but it was like right during puberty. So
you were doing your thing.
I was doing my thing. I was building up some sweat. It was Great Wolf Sweat Lodge in middle school. You know, it was pretty tight pants.
Miss VM. It was Mrs. VM.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Jama.
Jama Lama.
Mrs. Ventimiglia Madsen. So anyway, I don't know why the fuck we're talking about that. That's fucking retarded.
They're listening.
I'm trying not to say the R word. Okay? I know it's frowned upon.
And this isn't a setup for me to say the word you're not going to say.
Right.
Okay.
But here's the thing. We grew up saying that word, okay? And it doesn't mean that you're calling somebody mentally retarded. The thing is the word retarded, you can be retarded at anything. That it literally means not being able to do something correctly.
Yeah.
So I'm retarded when it comes to like working on a car motor.
Yeah.
You should be allowed to say the word. It's my thing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm retarded when it comes to. I mean, I'm perfect. Let me think of something. I mean, I would say car things. I mean, I can change my oil and stuff like that. But if you're like, yeah, I need to put on a new rear axle, I'm like,
I forgot to introduce you as the best in the house.
Oh, best drummer in the house.
So here he is in the flesh, live and in color. Just kidding. There's no video.
And I'm white.
The best in the house.
Oh, you mean, okay, you were speaking about as if it were going to be like broadcasted, like video. Oh, I thought you meant like live in color. Like this kid is of color. I'm like, no, I'm white.
No, dude, this is episode 2, bro. We gotta relax. It is a funny show. We're gonna try to be funny, you know what I mean? But we're also gonna talk about some fucking crazy, serious shit. So, today is July 9th, okay? July 5th. Yeah, here, let's do that real quick. For the boys, dude. Yeah. So,
there really is nothing quite like it.
Exquisite. So today's July 9th. How was your 4th of July weekend?
Well, it was okay. I didn't really do too much. My girlfriend lives far away and has epilepsy, so July 4ths for the rest of my life are pretty boring.
Oh, I didn't even think about that, dude.
Like she's not against it. She's against the majority of people that go.
Yeah.
Because she grew up like by Dayton, but like country outside of Dayton.
Why do you move from southern Ohio to the northernmost point of Ohio?
Family and friends. She had, because she originally grew up like 30 minutes south of Sandusky, but then her mom got a job 3 hours south of Sandusky. so they moved there.
Okay.
So she's like kind of familiar with the area, but no, I mean, yeah. So my 4th of July was spent at home. I wasn't working that day, and got drunk at home. Had my own fireworks, you know.
See, I was at my girlfriend's parents' house for multiple days, so we were drinking. That was no problem. They had tons of beer to drink, but I didn't want to get. You know what I mean? That was like the first time I met any of her actual family, so I didn't want to be, running around like an idiot. What I did do was annihilated her dad in cornhole.
Oh, okay.
So I just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
I hadn't played cornhole in probably a year and a half, and they're like, "Oh, dude, we're getting freaking swindled, man. You're really good." And I'm like, "Dude, I swear to God, I'm not kidding. I never tried. You know how people do the spin it?
Yeah.
I could never do that. So anytime I tried, I would do horrible, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna throw it regular, and I do fine like that. But I just was practicing before we started playing, and I started doing like that. So I'm like, all right, I'll try it. And we played best two out of three. They beat us in the first game because my girlfriend sucks. And so the second and third game, I'm not kidding. It was like a wet 3. Like you're
lacing it.
Like they wasn't even touching anything. Just they're like, her dad the whole time looking at me like. What's going on here?
Yeah, you're like, really? You're doing this to us now?
Should have bet you some money. But, so yeah, 4th of July, what happened, this is going to lead us into our first topic here, is the day after the 4th of July, CERN powered up its handy-dandy notebook again.
It was after, what, like 10 years?
I think it was 10 years. So they did it first in 2012.
Yeah, it was constructed. So CERN came together, I believe it was in the 50s. I think it was 1954. And that's when the, quote, alliance started. And then it was first
the
construction
Council for European something research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, either construction began or it was finished in 2008, but they didn't run it. I think no. So it started in 2008 and then they stopped in 2012.
Okay,
so for
and then
4 years.
That's the thing. Like, how do you even build something like that? The shit is how far underground is it? I don't even. It's like
it's pretty far.
It's very far underground. Like just the fact that it has to be that far underground shows you that it's probably not too safe to have around.
Probably not too safe. I remember seeing a news clip. We were still in school and they were talking about it, and someone went on, like Piers Morgan. I think that was CNN.
Piers Morgan is BBC because he's
right. Okay.
British.
And it was like, I think he was an affiliate with something tied to American Network.
Yeah, he was on an American news show for a while.
But he was split screen with somebody, the original Zoom with the fake green screen location in the back. Yeah, and I remember them saying that it was so far down underground that theoretically, and they had to point this out, theoretically, that could become like a war-torn zone, and it wouldn't be affected. Like you could drop mortar shells.
It's in Geneva, Switzerland. That's not a small little community.
No, and they show the size of it, and they're like, yeah, you could drop mortar shells there, and it won't affect it. I'm like,
it's 27 kilometers in circumference.
Yeah.
That's very big.
It's very big.
So, not good. So, what it does, though, is it, for a dumb person, let's try to explain this, because I'm one of those people. So, it smashes protons together at 99.99% the speed of light.
Right.
So, it's always got to be 99.99, though, you know what I mean? Can't be
100%. Yeah.
It can't be you got your fucking Lysol and it says it can't be kills 100% of bacteria. It says 99.99.
And they're like, well, we can't measure it.
So
I'm like,
what about that 0.01%, dog? Like, where's that, bro?
Well, like if the guy controlling it coughs, then it's like, okay, it's 92% now.
Yeah. So okay, but so they're smashing protons together at the speed of light. They're trying to break the protons into smaller protons. So just one. Where's it at? Okay, so they measure them in tera electron volts when they smash these things together, okay? One smash equals 14 volts.
Yeah.
They're about to run it now for 4 years straight.
Yeah.
Okay, that's like it's like 13 trillion or something. That's how many it's going to create. The main thing is what they're trying to do is validate Big Bang. So that's what they think they're doing, I think.
And like dark matter and stuff like that.
So they're trying, yeah, exactly. The ether.
Yeah.
So
because they can find, an abundance is a loaded word, but they can find a lot of it. They just don't understand it.
Exactly. It's everything. You know what I mean? So how are you actually going to find, how are you gonna?
Yeah.
So the main thing is they started this thing in 2012, okay? The whole thing is that, remember everybody thought the world was going to end in 2012?
Mm-hmm.
So they start doing this shit, and then all of a sudden, it seems like shit's just off after that. You know what I mean? This thing has the capability of literally creating a black hole. So why are we doing that?
And they say the black holes are microscopic. Like they say they're like 40,000 times.
Okay,
smaller.
but don't they all start like that?
They all start like that, and that's the thing. Like you just like the position you framed before you started. We're like, okay, we're not smart,
right?
But we don't know how relevant the size of one is when it's created. So they're like, it's like nanoscopic. We're like
probably
great.
Don't even know.
But they're like, so chill out, man. They're like, no,
we're just trying to figure out, or just trying to find the God particle. You don't know what that is, and no one knows what that is. So you don't know what you're trying to find, and you don't actually know what you're doing. Then, is what you're trying to tell me.
And like, there even things that are certainties that we do at least know how to interact with, or maybe fuck with, like gravity. I know that if you drop that beer, it'll fall.
Right.
I don't know why. They tell us why.
Dude, it's still a theory.
Yeah, I don't know why.
They literally, that's what it's called. It's still a theory.
Yeah.
So what if it's not, though? What if that's actually not even, what if it's not gravity? What if it's just the heavier the shit is? It's, you know what I mean? Nobody knows anything. Here's the thing. Nobody knows anything. We don't, how do you even know, like, here's a whole nother thing. We'll stay on topic, but how do you know that the Earth is round?
They're all theories. I mean,
there's not a satellite that's in orbit that we have, if there are any. There's not a satellite in orbit that can be far enough away for it to take a picture of the entire Earth.
They do have some that show a curvature, but they even say the picture is so fucking big. They have to
render it all crazy. Yeah, they got to do a bunch of shit to it. And when you start doing that, it's not the same picture that you took. So it's a rendition. That's what that means. It's not the same thing.
And it would make more sense if it was flat, as far as like interdimensional. Like if there was a fifth dimension, how they always say it's when you poke through.
Yeah.
Well, like, yeah, if it was flat, then that would make sense. You could just.
Here's the thing. Me and Mr. Sean Hensey are gonna have one of these episodes where we're gonna talk about that, because he is 100% against that, and I was for a long time. You know what I mean? But the past like couple years, I'm like, it's probably not though. It probably is flat though.
And like partially why I wanted to come on was because I wasn't against it, but I would say I was on the fence, teetering both ways, because I stated the claim that I really don't know.
Nobody does.
And like it wasn't like a lazy thing, but I would get in conversations, not with you because you're rational and reasonable, but I would talk to people and they're like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "I think."
Yeah.
I don't.
The last time I was at Hensey's, we were talking about that, and he's like, "You don't really think that, do you?" And I'm like, "Dude, I don't know. I'm not on either side at this point, because it doesn't. I don't know. I'm never gonna know. I'm never gonna be able to jump up in a fucking rocket ship and go check for myself.
Yeah,
I know that much. it's not gonna happen. So nobody will ever know, and you can't even trust literally anyone enough to if they're telling you the truth, bro. They're talking about. It's been all over social media. The one guy, he's a spokesperson for NASA, and he's like, "Yeah, we had the technology to get to the moon, but I wish we could get back, but we destroyed all that technology now, and we can't. It's very hard to build it back." And you're like, "You destroyed it?"
That's the one that
there's 11 or 12 dudes that have walked on the fucking moon, and you're telling me that you literally destroyed it after you did it.
That's the one that I'll hang my hat on. That will just never make sense.
What are you talking?
Like,
oh yeah, I know that's the craziest thing that humankind's ever done, and the American people were supposedly the first people to do it, but we destroyed it. We didn't want to keep it and put it in a museum or anything like that. We just wanted to let's burn it. That means you didn't do it, bro. That's what that means, dude.
Maybe towards the end I could bring this up, but I have a solar system theory. That's actually pretty crazy.
Let's hear it. I don't give a fuck, dude.
Okay, so you see the diaphragm of the solar system. Starts with the sun.
You said the diaphragm?
Yeah, the diagram. Yeah. The sun's breathing up in here now. And yeah, so the diagram starts with the sun, and then you could say fuck Pluto or Pluto's cool, but it ends with Neptune or Pluto. And this was also when I was getting really high.
Well, yeah.
And
that's a given.
I looked at it, and I started at Pluto, and I would look over to the sun, and I just crazy thought that was the life cycle of a planet. You start as Pluto, and you end up blowing up, and you're the sun. So you're Pluto, you're really cold.
That's what they say, though.
Well, that's just what I was saying.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is that's what they say about most planets and most stars, that they end up fucking exploding.
Because my high theory was we're not really seeing other planets. Because, like you said, you can't trust anybody, so when they look into space, you don't really know what you're seeing.
Dude, they have telescopes. The closer they get to them, they look like a fucking tadpole in water. When you look at the planet, they're like, "This is Saturn," and it looks like a fucking cell. It literally looks like the mitochondria. They're just fucking.
And if like the light year thing holds up and all that's accurate, how could Saturn not be us billions of years ago?
Right.
How could that not be time travel going to Mars? How could seeing the sun every day?
See, what I think is that the planets are not actually physical planets. I think this is what I think. This is what I've concluded in the past like couple months of just watching crazy shit. I think this is it. I think we're it. I think the sun and moon stay here. I don't think we go around them. I think they're way smaller than we think, and I think they stay here. And I think we are it. And I think any of the planets or anything that we think are planets are either jumping in like a fucking portal and like boop, and you're at a different place. I think that that's what the planets are. Either that or they're like gods, because a lot of shit when you read like biblical stuff, they're talking about not biblical stuff. I'm talking about like old like Roman shit and all that. They're talking about the fucking planets in the Bible, bro. I don't care. They're talking about the sun, bro. The entire Bible. The
Zeitgeist was a great documentary
that
came out.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that that's where I learned it all from, and that was like a 2-hour documentary, and I was like,
you took it off.
I know, obviously.
You can't even find it anymore.
Yeah, that was 2015 or 16 when I watched that.
It's not even on Vimeo, YouTube.
No,
nothing.
I remember a couple years ago I tried looking at it on Netflix, and there was 3 different ones on there too. There's nothing now.
Yep.
Dude, think about that movie. What was it called? That they were what was that movie called? They were coming out with it like a year or so before COVID started, where the whole trailer is like FEMA jumping on the ground, and they were literally fucking shooting people with machine guns. Do you remember that movie? And the dude that was directing it got murdered. Him and his whole family got murdered.
Mm-hmm. It's not connected.
Bro, I was at you ever been to the Denver airport?
Denver, Colorado? I have not.
When I went on that potato trip back in good old days, on the way home we flew into Denver. On the way out there, I think we flew into like Dallas or something. But on the way home we flew into Denver, and first of all, that I didn't get to see it from the outside, but that I'm convinced that is literally the biggest building that's ever been built. No, I'm not kidding. They have trains underground there to take you to wherever your flight's at. They go like 70 miles an hour underground. If that's going that fast, bro, they're going far. They're going very far. You're not going 70 miles an hour for a mile.
No. You get there in 2 minutes.
Right. So that's like, how big is it really then? You know what I mean? How? Yeah. But they have fucking big ass murals in the airport of, let's look it up real quick because I want you to see them. Like, you don't know what I'm talking about. Denver Airport. There's this one with this guy wearing a fucking gas mask, bro. And like an army behind him. Okay.
And I believe it was 2 months ago. They actually, I think it's been decriminalized, but they started using MDMA and ketamine.
This is a big, huge. It's huge. It's literally 2 stories high. This is how big this is. Look at. Look, this lady's crying. This lady. There's a baby right here with holding a teddy bear. Another baby, and then this guy has a sword and a AK with a fucking bayonet on it, with a gas mask, wearing a Nazi. It looks like a Nazi uniform, literally, with broken, destroyed buildings behind them, and a dove flying, and a rainbow coming this way. What is this? Why is that in the Denver airport? What's that in the airport for?
Well, I mean, they're trying to be prideful with the rainbow. I'll tell you that.
I understand that. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's 2020. You know what I mean? Whenever that was built, there's a fucking headstone at the front of the building that has the fucking Freemason compass right on it.
Mm-hmm. Same thing LeBron James has on his chest, but he has the
he has that tattooed.
The lion with the wings on it, whatever that figure is.
On his, right on here.
Yeah,
I thought you were saying he has a compass on his chest.
No.
That'd have been pretty fucked up. But yeah, so there's that out front. Also, there's a big statue of a horse, and his name is, what is his name? Lucifer. Literally.
Oh, yeah.
A big red horse or white horse or something. His name's Lucifer. Literally right at the front of the building. So, all right, get out of here. Let's see what that says real quick. Sorry about that.
Interesting points. And I thought it was funny that Tanner's like, "What's its name?" Like, I've never been there.
Well, let's bring it back right here. So, CERN. So they started back up on July 5th, okay? I saw so many videos all over the entire, not only the United States, but videos in different countries of the sky that night, bro. And it looked like we were supposed to have big storms that night, remember? It was storming real bad. But it
rained the night before.
But it wasn't even raining in all these videos that these people were putting up, and the sky is just fucking going insane, dude. Not lightning. Lightning doesn't go in the same exact spot over for 10 minutes.
No.
That doesn't happen. You don't hear anything. You don't hear thunder, nothing. You're going to hear that if it's lightning like crazy and it's a big thunderstorm. You're going to hear the thunder. You're going to hear the lightning.
Because you always see lightning before you hear the thunder.
Right. And you didn't hear nothing. So what? All these videos of the sky literally looks like a video game. You're like, what the fuck? So the whole thing with this CERN shit, 2012, okay? There's a country, is it in Africa, that supposedly it's 2000 and they're, what are they, 8 years off?
Yeah.
They're 8 or 12 years off. I don't remember. Behind us. So it's 2012. Yeah, it's 8 years. Because it's 2012 for them right now. No, it's Debbie 10 years. No, 2020, I'm sorry, would have been 2012 for them.
Yeah.
So when all the shit started hitting the fucking fan in 2020 with all the horrible bullshit that was going on, did we all die? Like, what happened, dude? Because there's a lot of shit that doesn't make any sense. There's all the shit that I always talk about that happens to me and Gabe that's why I have this tattooed on my arm. That's why we always say PAX, that whole PAX thing, where we were just fucking speaking shit right into existence on a day-to-day basis, literally like multiple times. Like, the power went out one day, and it was out for like the entire day. So we all left. Like, Gabe went and hung out with his girlfriend. I did something, you know what I mean? We all left. Came back, and the power turned back on. So we came back, and me and Gabe were standing right here in the doorway, and I literally go, dude, thank God the power turned back on. As soon as I finished saying that, the power shut off and stayed off for like 30 seconds. And me and Gabe are standing. I literally started crying. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. We both literally were like I just seen a ghost. I'm sitting there fucking tearing up. I'm like, what, bro? And that is the millionth time that something happened. So we alluded to it a little bit on the first episode. I know I've talked to you about it before, but that's why I got this on me. That's like, every day, dude. I won't look at my phone battery percentage for the entire day, but when I finally do or care or think about it, it's at 66. So what? And as soon as Gabe, like 5 years ago, moved out here, and he was talking about that, saying that his mom's phone does that, his phone does that, and as soon as he started telling me about it, that's when every time I did it, it was 66. So I'm like, what? Why did that happen?
And manifested.
So then we watched Bandersnatch, which, did you watch that?
I did not.
Okay, so you need to watch that. You absolutely need to watch that.
That helped the show. Watch it next time.
We watched it. I watched it sober the first time, and then the second time we fucking dropped. And I did it with this kid that worked at Giant Eagle with us. He'd never done it, and he literally got.
I heard that story.
He did too, and he did fine. Like, he didn't have a bad time at all because we're good people. You know what I mean? If you go into shit like that, and you have a bad mindset, and you're thinking that it could go wrong, something might go wrong and be bad, you know what I mean? That's when it does. So if you go into it and you're like, this is about to be sick, chances are you're probably going to be cool. So anyway, we watched Bandersnatch, and the whole thing is that, like, everything, you keep, like, looping. You get to choose what happens to the kid. So the first, like, scene, he's eating cereal, and you get to pick which cereal he eats. So the story changes based on the choices that you pick on Netflix. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? The next one is like it's like set in the 80s. It was like the Thompson twins or something else. Mm-hmm. And you could pick which cassette tape he's going to put in this thing. So the whole thing with that is like you were just reliving yourself over and over again. You were setting yourself back into the same exact decision that you made, which that may not happen to us because I don't ever recall that happening to me. But just with the shit that it seems like someone, when that happens to us, it seems like someone's doing that to us.
Yeah.
And that's what he realized in the show. He was like, finally at one point he was like, I'm not making these decisions. Someone's doing it for me. And he's like looking around like, well, who's doing this?
Yeah.
So that's what I feel like is happening to us a lot. It's either that or the world literally ended when they started doing that CERN shit. Mm-hmm. And that leads us into what we were trying to talk about next is these Mandela Effects that started happening. So they said that it sent us into either a different dimension or like a loophole or something, did something with us. And then all this shit that we remembered before isn't the same. With this Mandela Effect shit, do you know of anything that like you've heard or seen on like social media where you're like, I know for a fact it was this and it's this what it is now?
Yes. The position you took when broaching the topic, I would say the latter. I would say it was a loophole.
Yeah.
Just because it's no longer coincidental. With that being said, I think it's hard when the vast majority of people giving and receiving information are dumb. So they'll take the Chick-fil-A logo
That's the most recent one.
Yeah.
I saw that today.
Yeah, they'll do that, and then it'll be some like 19-year-old blonde chick from Vero Beach, and they're like, "You see that? Did you see that?" And it's like I saw it, but I don't think you really get it, because I don't get it, but you really don't get it.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing, is there's way too many people that are doing it just to sound cool and tell their friends stories and stuff, instead of actually trying to be like scholarly about it and try to figure out what the fuck is going on, because none of it makes any sense. Yeah. And if I try to explain this to my mom will be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
She's like, "Is there money in your savings account? Like, what are we talking about?"
My mom would be like, "What are you talking?" If I said to my nana would be like, "Witchcraft."
Yeah.
Like what?
You gotta burn him at the stake.
Yeah, my nana is a perfect example of, and you can't even fault her, because it's just, that's how people of that generation are. All she does is watch the news, dude.
Yeah, Brian hit the MAGA train pretty hard.
I mean,
no, but I mean, like, he showed up with a shirt,
hat and shirt and stuff.
Well, like, the shirt was a white shirt with the American flag on it, vertical, but the American flag was made out of ARs. And we went. Remember the rib cook-off they used to do in Strongsville?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we went there. Just quick side, we went there, and it was fun. It was me, him, my sister, my girlfriend, hung out. It was fun. On the way back, he walked up to every single police officer to make a point, and baseline, it's whatever, but he walked up to every cop with vertical hand, fist extended, like to give knucks, and he just went up to every cop and he was like, "Hey, thank you for your service. Hey, excuse me, sir." And he walked up to this old cop who was training a dog. And if you've ever seen a police dog being trained, they circle the person training them. They follow them. They're obviously trying to do something for a reward to be trained. And he was walking behind this cop training a dog. He was like, "Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir." And then the guy finally turned around, annoyed. He was like, Who the fuck? Like,
what do you want?
There's
you want
like
me to
three
have
other
my dog bite you?
Yeah, there's like 3 other 29-year-old cops over there that if you need their attention, go to them, not me.
Right.
And he just turned around and was like, "Thank you for your service." We're just like, okay.
Had to interrupt what he was doing to do that.
Yeah.
What, I gotta ask, was he wearing New Balances with high top white socks?
No, but he was wearing the like famous footwear Under Armour shoes.
With long socks?
With
mid-calf socks?
Long socks. Old
cargo shorts,
Old Navy cargo shorts,
and
that
did
American
he cut the
flag.
sleeves off of the shirt, or did he?
No,
okay.
but
if the sleeves were cut off, call the cops, take him to jail, literally.
He'd love it, man.
Hey, you'd see him on TikTok, and they'd be calling him a white supremacist if he had the sleeves cut off.
Of course, but if he knew that and he saw a post, it was like, "Call the fucking cops," he'd be like, I'd love it, man.
No. Then you see the videos of him. "Hey, thanks for your service."
It's like sitting in the cell, like, I love them, they love me. This is great. I'm white. I'm having a great time in here, to be honest with you. Like, they wake up every day like, "Brian, got you that McMuffin from McDonald's." He's like, "Oh, thank you. I'm not gonna vote though, but
listen, have you ever got a sausage McMuffin, just the sausage patty and a McMuffin, and then got a hash brown and put the hash brown on?
Of course.
Do you remember when we had band practice and I would do that all the time? Yeah, I would get like 2 of them and then get 2 hash browns. Bro,
dude, that's what I did this morning. I was a fat fuck this morning.
Oh, we used to do that. Me and not even gonna. Yeah. Me and that dude, we used to blaze up 420 before school, like not on the regular school days. We did that a couple times, but like senior year we had a bunch of like late starts. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
And I would just didn't tell my parents that I had a late start, and I would just act like I'm going to school when it was supposed to start, like 2 hours early. I would go to his house. Yeah. We'd get before school, go to McDonald's, smash, and then go to fucking school. All fucking just and show up to fucking Mrs. Cummings' fucking homeroom class.
Dude, I remember living in Fawn Lake. I remember I would. There's a couple times that I rolled up with paraphernalia.
What beer are you on? What number?
I'm on 2.
All right, I'm cracking 3.
Nice.
It has been cracked.
That's some. We got some ASMR going on too. But I remember I would only smoke enough, like a joint or something. So because I'd go the back way down Shady. So when I would get to like where Friendships now is, or like Shakers, I'd be able to pitch it on Bagley.
There was nothing there before, right?
There was that cigarette store,
Cheap Tobacco.
Cheap Tobacco, that was abandoned for years.
Yeah.
And then Falls Lounge, which
it wasn't on that side.
no, it was on the other side. But Falls Lounge is closed now too.
That guy got shot and killed there. Did they close after that?
Yeah, like there was a stabbing that happened, and that wasn't cool. And then someone got shot.
That's crazy. I would never think that something would happen like that.
I was talking to Eric though, man. It'd be cool to open up like a little corner venue there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and like it's right by the highway.
It's still vacant.
Yep.
Yeah,
there was a restoration guy that was working in there, just like cleaning it up. But no, that'd be cool.
Like a nice little place where it's just like little.
Yeah, I mean
like open mic shit.
Well, yeah, like the closer you go to Cleveland, you realize there's a lot of places on the west side. Oh, excuse me, and the east side, that is just a music-centric bar.
Yeah.
So they have good sound, good stages. They're not owned by somebody, so if you were to perform, the talent buyer or the event promoter wouldn't take 23% off the top. So if you perform there, you get the door percentage of the bar. You don't get, like if you play a venue that won't be named, but they're a bowling alley, and they have 3 stages. They have a talent buyer, so if you sell 75 tickets, and you know that's a good amount of tickets, and people go to the bar and everything, you might get 500 to 700 to split.
Damn.
Between everybody. We played a different place called Happy Dog, and they're artist centric. They're really cool, down to earth, nice people. We opened and got $600. Opened.
When?
This was...
Oh, this is what you were just telling me about on the phone.
Yeah, around December last year.
God damn, dude.
Yeah, so it'd be cool. It'd be cool to have something like that in Olmsted Falls.
That would be sick.
Because the
right there too is by the high school.
It's right by the airport, or not the airport, but by the highway. Anyways, right by the turnpike. So anyone out of state that would come by, there's the gas stations and restaurants, places to go to, and then you're close to the highway.
Yeah,
and even the people that the kids we would not associate with, that we went to school with, or who came before us or after us, like they could still go there and get their old fashions and do all that shit, but it's at least participating in something cool.
Yeah, and what we would do is we would just get the ugliest girls to bartend. Like hire only fucking just. We're not looking for, you know what I mean.
You got to be Chris Saddlemeyer with a wig. I mean, height and everything, and you got to make the.
Bro, 8th grade. Listen, 8th grade. So long ago already. It's so crazy, dude. 8th grade, I had homeroom with him, and Dave was in there.
Nice.
And a bunch of other people too, funny people. But I sat right next to Chris, and Dave sat all the way across in the whole room sat all the way across from us in the room, and Mrs. Thompson's class, and fucking Dave would literally act like he had a bazooka in his hand and literally fucking like that from across the room.
And I love when they would do like the ammunition, like the recoil, like the.
Yeah. He used to do that so much, and then Dave would be like, "Hey, Chris, what do you think about China and Japan and stuff?" And he's like, "Oh, they're taking over the world."
Like it was like it was like right before his meds would kick in. So like there was that time in the morning where he was just like spaced out, and like eyes were huge. And and like before he would do anything to antagonize you to say something, he'd be like, "Hey, Chris." And all that would happen is you would look at him and he'd be like, and then you would ask like, "What do you think about China?" He'd be like, bomb them. And then we're like, "That's fucked up." But you could definitely do sound effects for like a Michael Bay movie. Like,
yeah, he totally could. He definitely could. That's fucking hilarious. God damn it, dude. Okay, let's get back on topic here.
Yeah.
All right. We're 40 minutes in. That's not too shabby.
Not too shabby. I mean, we got
minute 10,
you know.
Oh, we got enough time. So here's the thing. Mandela Effects. Okay. I was just trying to find like crazy ones that I know for a fact I know. You know what I mean? Do you remember watching Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
Yeah, I mean, I remember rewatching what we had missed. But
Yeah. Well, we didn't watch it when it was brand new.
Hey, neighbor.
First of all, how was I not scared of that show when I was a little kid? Because that show's very scary, dude. What is up with that show? Why did they have that show? That's such a weird show, dude. For kids to watch?
Reagan. That was the president.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, I mean, it was that late 80s time period.
I don't like that, dude. I'm very glad that I wasn't a kid then. That's so weird to me. Like, why did that guy have a show? They made a movie about him recently, didn't they? With Tom Hanks, right?
Yep.
Tom Hanks. Pedophile!
Drinking baby blood and shit, now.
Why am I laughing? But yeah, Tom Hanks, you know what I mean? Definitely. Playing the part of Mr. Rogers, who is fucking definitely, probably, most likely a pedophile. Yeah. So, you got that.
There's people that defend pedophiles now. Just to...
Dude, was it last year or the year before when they were literally trying to make it like a fucking...
Yeah, they wanted...
a sexual, or like an ordinance, you know what I mean?
They wanted to change...
Sexual orientation.
Yeah, they wanted to change the phrase and the title of people that are just...
They're just attracted to children.
I like kids.
You can't.
Right?
That's the thing, is you can't.
But I can't help it,
just dude. Like fucking cats and dogs, there's a certain age where they're able to fucking do it. Okay? We're not able to do it when we're a little kid. So.
Now, I beg to differ.
Yeah, you probably would. I wouldn't put it past you, Brad. But, so, Mr. Rogers, this is one, I just learned about this one. There's a bunch that I saw already. Bro, he's singing the fucking theme song. Okay, I remember watching it a lot, so I actually remember hearing it. Bro, this motherfucker used to literally, it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. Just like that. Like a fucking nerdy old grandpa that you're like, what the fuck's grandpa doing
like,
over
even
there?
in the 80s, you'd be like, hey, Tanner, don't go to that house.
Yeah, don't go over to your uncle's house. Like,
yeah.
So, okay, it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood, right? So now, if you look it up, it's this neighborhood. That's not what it was.
Nope.
And I don't care what anybody says. Like, that's 100%. That's not what it was. I remember hearing that shit all the time and being a little kid and making fun of it and everything and being like, yeah, it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. And it's not what he says.
And then even just like growing up, if you didn't know that it was connected, people would sarcastically say it, but they would say it like that. They'd be like, oh, just wonderful day in the neighborhood, thanks.
Yes, all
like,
the time as a catchphrase.
Yeah.
It's a catchphrase. Yeah, 100%. So you got that one, which blew my mind. I never heard of that one, okay? You got like the regular one was like Oscar Mayer. They spell it now with an A-Y-E-R.
It was an E.
It was an E. There was a fucking jingle that they made. It's M-E-M-A or whatever, how you sang it like that. Fucking the way that it was, and now it's not that way. So, but what do you mean, though? You know what I mean? So, okay, another one, which I never saw. This is brand new. The fucking, Silence of the Lambs.
Mm-hmm.
He says, she walks up to his cell at one of the scenes, and he's, hello, Clarice, right?
Yeah.
Nope. It's that scene that you're thinking of. He says, good evening, Clarice.
He doesn't, but
he doesn't say that, though.
I just watched it, too, within the past couple of years.
Really?
And
is it on anything?
I think it's still on Netflix, but on Netflix, I'm willing to bet every dollar in my wallet that
I'm waiting for him to do the next one. It won't even surprise me if they do it to, like, what's the one with, Here's Johnny.
Oh, The Shining.
Yeah. That's the one they'll do it to next. Here's my thing. Okay? Are we actually in a different dimension, time zone, time change, year change? Are we actually in a different world, or is some type of agency changing this shit on purpose to make us fucking go insane?
I think it's an agency. I don't think it's so like negligibly, if that's even a fucking word. If that's
Doesn't sound like
if
it.
if it's on purpose, 100% by choice. I feel like it's like 35% by choice, and they're like, we're gonna do this shit, but then they can't control it. Kind of like the collider. Like, there's probably 20% legit shit going on there, but there's like 80% that they're just like
They know that they're literally gonna open up portals and change dimensions and stuff, and they're doing it to further fuck shit up.
I feel like they know what they're trying to do, but they just don't know about the outcome. Like with this, I feel like it's intentional. They just don't understand the outcome. They think they do. So I think it's kind of taking a life of its own, and it keeps going on. And they don't fucking know what's actually detrimental and what's happening, but it keeps happening. So I think it is like vindictive, but they're just a little less dumb than we are. They're just a little less dumb. So they're like, we're going to do this. And they're like, okay, but then there's this space over here that they just don't know about. Not to our benefit.
No, not even close.
So it's a double whammy, okay? It's, it's picking up dog shit with like fingerless gloves. Like it's a double whammy. Like, and they're not even the cotton ones. It's fucked up.
Picking up dog shit with fingerless gloves, dude. Whoa. A comedian's going to steal that, bro. I don't think I've ever heard that before. The thing that... Here's the thing. I think that we live in a world where it's like... We can do... We live in a world of, like, sorcerers and shit. I feel like there's way more... In, like, the movies that we watch, like Narnia and, like, Lord of the Rings and, like, insane, like, sci-fi shit. I feel like that is actually real. And I feel like Star Wars and fucking all that stupid shit is not real. And I feel like they really are pushing right now, and even like kid shows and stuff, they're pushing space so hard to make, because all this flat earth shit's coming out, and they want all these kids to still believe that space is real, and then we can get to space, and that we're literally this big, and the universe is this big, and we're nothing, and we're never gonna be anything, and we're gonna die, and then the universe will live on forever. And I think they want us to feel like we're not special. And my thing is we can do fucking crazy ass shit. We just got knocked into a different, you know what I mean? A different world where we like either forgot or something. We lost, you know what I mean? We lost something.
Well, like, I think the joke that Rogan had on a special years ago, it's very funny, but it does make sense. It was about the Hadron Collider, and the joke he made was funny. Like, when you think about stuff like the pyramids, we don't know how the fuck they got there, who the fuck built them.
I think they were there before the Egyptians got there.
Well, yeah, like what they actually mean. But we can recognize a pyramid. It's a shape. Someone drew it before they were discovered, so to speak. So they know what it is. They can... The math that we do know, that like there's 2 cans of beer, there's 3 cans of beer, so that's 3. The math we do know knows what the fuck the structure is. But his joke was, this isn't the first collider. And he said whatever the age of the universe was is when that collider ends. When everything ends. But the joke he was making was it was all these scientists that were just pumping out black holes. And then he was like, they were all drinking Red Bull, and they masturbated, and they never cried, and they just kept doing it. And he said, when they create that big black hole that ends everything, it just resets. Everything just resets. So if you want to talk about a grandiose theory of this Mandela effect, why everything seems so familiar and it's becoming more routine and on a loop, it's because we've seen this shit before. Yeah. Because it's ended. And it's happened before.
Yeah.
And, like, we're the ones that end up resetting everything.
Which comes back to the whole fucking PAX, the fucking program and control, man. That's Pac-Man. You remember playing that game, right?
Yeah.
What happens? You can fucking go. You go on the right side of the screen, and the tunnel ends there. But what happens when you fucking leave that side? You fucking come out on the left side of the screen. What the fuck is that? That's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That ended, and whoop, here we go. And you didn't know, you forget, and you don't remember, and it's just a new one, and that's it.
And I guess the comparison would be when it resets and it ends, it's just it overheating, and it shuts off.
Mm-hmm.
And how the joke ended, which was the funny part, was that every single time we get a little bit smarter, a little bit dumber. So it resets just a second quicker, or a second longer, but we just keep going back, and we're rediscovering shit that was already rediscovered hundreds and hundreds of millions of times because it was still there. The Earth's not going anywhere. We are.
But that's the thing, is how do we not remember, though? Because it's not the same thing?
We
We're
don't
not the same one?
remember, but it's deja vu. It's like the Mandela Effect. Like, you remember the theme song, but it's different. You're like, but that's not how I remember it. And it's not like you bought a new shirt and you thought it was blue, but it was gray. It's not like that. It's like you remembered it, but it was just a little off.
It's like specifically you remember something, and then you're like, oh, but that's not what it is?
Yeah.
Like that,
Yeah.
bro, in Star Wars, if you watch it now, the famous line, bro, Luke, I am your father. It's not that. I didn't write that one down, but it's not that anymore. It's like, Luke, I was your father, or something ridiculous. Like, you're like, that's not, I'm sorry to tell you, bro, that's not what it was.
I think they tried to say that it was I'm your father. I'm like, it's not.
It was something that it definitely wasn't what it's not what it was. So, but my thing is also, though, there's a whole group of people that remember it as that, and then there's a whole group of people that remember it what it is actually right now, though. So if something happens and we reset, why didn't a certain group of people reset?
I feel like they did, but it was just a constant. I feel like because you can turn off your computer and restart it, but everything will still be there. The programs might change. The person using it, the user might change, but the computer's the computer. Like you can pick up the guitar and play dog shit, and I can play a song, but the guitar's in the same tuning. Like, the guitar stays the same. So I feel like some things are just susceptible to being its own loop. Doesn't mean it's not affected, but maybe the fact that it hasn't changed is part of the effect. Like, it's just not supposed to.
I'm getting my mind right now. If it had a fucking hole, it'd be gaped, bro.
It'd be prolapsed.
That shit would be fucking prolapsed, bro. Watch out. Yeah. Kissy face.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, here's the thing. Like, it had to be like a month ago now. I showed up to Henzie's house I don't remember what the fuck we were doing. We were, I think I came there after work. We were gonna either buy a beat or record. I don't know what we were doing. But it was the first time I had been out there in a minute. So I sit down, and AJ's there, which I'm going to have him on the podcast. I'm going to just bombard him and be like, hey, you're doing it. Like, we're going to do it. I sit down, and I was listening to my favorite podcast, The Tinfoil Hat, which, if you have Spotify.
With Tim Dillon.
No.
Right?
No. Tim Dillon's a comedian. The guy I listen to, too, is a comedian, too. But Tim Dillon doesn't do anything like that. He's just funny as fuck. The guy I'm talking about is Sam Tripoli.
I know Sam Tripoli.
Yeah, he's a comedian too. He does tinfoil hat.
No, not Tim Dillon. No, I was thinking about the. God damn it.
Chris D'Elia?
No, keep going on. I'm gonna look it up because when I say the name, it'd be like, oh, you could. No, not the fat gay guy, not Tim Dillon. It was a different guy.
He's funny as fuck though.
He's really funny.
Very, very funny. Very funny. I listen to his podcast too. But no, they were talking about Elon Musk, and like I think it was about him buying Twitter and all kinds of crazy shit. And I already have some doubts about Elon Musk, but it's to be determined, I guess. So I show up, and the first thing I say is I sit down and I go, "Hey, Henzy, you're a fan of Elon Musk, aren't you? Like, you like him?" And fucking 14 minutes later, AJ Kish is sitting there fucking screaming, sitting in the fucking computer chair on the right, and literally screaming. I went from saying Elon Musk to him 14 minutes later was literally, this is what he was saying. Yeah, what do I gotta do? Kill myself on Facebook Live? Like, what do I gotta do? Like, so how do we get from that to that? You know what I mean? I love those type of conversations. Those are my favorite. And he's like real passionate. It doesn't matter what that dude's talking about. Yeah. He was real passionate when he was talking about shit.
Personal.
But no, so Elon Musk, dude. What do you think about Elon Musk? I want to know your opinion.
Before you go on, Tim Pool is who I was thinking of. Tim Pool.
He does. Yeah. He's like he's almost like an Alex Jones type dude at this point.
Yeah, just a little more, calculated.
Yeah,
kept.
Definitely it sounds more intellectual when you hear him speak and stuff like that. Yeah, I like that guy's cool. He's been on Joe Rogan's show a couple times too.
Yeah.
I gotta say too, I keep talking about Rogan just as a reference, but I can't even watch that show. Do you listen to that podcast anymore?
I do. I turn a lot off. I'll get like 20 minutes in and end up turning it off. When it's like recurring old guests, like when...
That's what I like watching those. I don't like these fight companions. Every episode he talks about MMA.
Yeah. When Diaz came back, when Brian Redband was just on, that was a 4-hour
I like when he has Jocko on there.
Yeah, when Jocko's on there.
I like when he has like Tom and Bert on there. Like those Ari and...
I'll listen to the Jordan Peterson ones.
Yeah, those ones too.
I'll listen to those.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I used to listen. I use them as a reference because I watch so many of them, but I literally can barely bear to watch any of them anymore, which is pretty sad. But I don't know. They're all people I have no idea who they are, and then it's literally just like, blah 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 as an author, and they wrote, "Bite your knees," and you're like, what? Who's this guy? What book is that?
He's definitely the most like false modest person that's just thriving in the system right now.
I'm just scared that he might end up being a fucking pawn. You know what I mean? I feel like he might be already.
If he is, it's unintentional. He points it out too much. I feel like there's a lot that he knows that he won't say.
And I feel like there's a lot of people that know him at this point that tell him, hey, probably don't want to talk about those kind of things.
Yeah.
Because, like I was saying on the first one, dude, he used to talk about insane fucking shit, dude, to where I'm like, and now it's like, yeah, dude, fucking, if you kick the bag hard enough, it's just like, yeah, it hurts. Yeah.
Like, does your back hurt?
He's like, yeah, I mean,
did you ever think about,
dude, if you smoke like 3
doing
blunts,
jujitsu?
If you do some jujitsu, you smoke a couple blunts.
That was a
meme. Ice bath.
That was a meme that was funny for a while. They would clip out like scenes from movies, like someone dying, and he'd be like, "Yeah, that's great. Have you ever done DMT?" And then they Photoshop him in, so it's the same like color as the movie and everything, but it's just him. Or like when they do the ringside, the UFC ringside, it's him holding the mic up to someone like lacerated stomach, dying, and he's like, "Have you ever done DMT before? You should fucking think about it.
I have the best podcast out."
But the one thing that he said recently that was cool, one of his sleeves that he has, his tattoo sleeves, I actually didn't know this, he got his first DMT breakthrough tattooed, which is cool. I'll commend that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
that is cool. He's like the first, because he was straight as an arrow until 2002, and then he meets Eddie Bravo, and they start fucking around and Alex Jones and everything. But then he finally breaks through, and then he just gets it as a sleeve. He's like, I want to fucking remember, because it was really important to me what happened. And I was like, I commend that. That's cool. Like, it's kind of a joke now. It's a running joke. But
listen, I still got that shit that you guys got me for my birthday a couple years ago.
Dude, I
said something to Danny and Henzy about it a couple weeks ago, and they were like, bro, you should do it. And I'm like, why, is it bad now? He's like, no, it'd be way better probably. And I'm like,
you should do it. You should do it. That is hands down the
But the fact that
and cleanest.
The fact that it's aged, do you think that'll make it better though? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like when you leave weed in a jar, and it cures and dries out, and then it gets to a point where it dries out for too long. Then it becomes almost like sticky and slimy, where it almost starts. It doesn't regenerate. But
when I did it, the only thing. I mean, obviously, I remember what actually happened, and I hate even telling people about what happened because I feel like every time I listen to someone tell their experience about it, I'm like, that sounds super corny. You know what I mean? And you don't even want to hear what they're talking about. But I might tell you, but like I probably have already. That's literally exactly what happened. But I just hate telling it because I feel like I'm being really fucking corny, and that sometimes like I feel like I actually have a condition when I say corny things. I'm not kidding. I feel like I literally like there's something like I have a pain in my organs.
Yeah, you're externalizing the.
Yeah, like it's like I'm cringing, and my body feels like it actually hurts. Like I'm literally
cramping.
Like, oh
almost.
my god,
Yeah,
fucking. Yeah. So that, but what was my point?
DMT.
Yeah, I know, but I don't remember what I was actually talking about.
Explaining your.
So I guess I'll just
explaining your trip.
Explain it. No, what I was trying to say, I remembered, is that it smells and tastes like fucking shit.
No, it does. I compare it to like an open casket.
It fucking tastes like literally a dead fucking carcass. Like you literally grind it up. You fucking took your grandpa's ashes and put it in a fucking goddamn blunt and smoked them. That's what it.
Worse than mushrooms.
Yeah, 100%. I could eat
mushrooms, but
they taste like stale sunflower seeds.
But there's some psilocybin mushrooms that are just. There really are, and like my palate's changed, so like I could, no pun intended, stomach them now.
I've done them quite a few times, and I've never been the person that like put them on food or like chased them with something. But I knew a bunch of people that would like put them on pizza.
After the fact, yeah, because if you bake them, they're no longer psychoactive.
Oh yeah, no, order a pizza and put it on the pizza.
Yeah, I mean, that's good to get food in your system. I mean, I was hanging around people that I got the strongest mushrooms ever from this guy who I think it was on his driver's license, so I'm not certain, but we called him Esau, like seesaw without the s. And he said, eat a quarter ounce of shrooms until you throw up. So we did. Oh my God. As soon as you throw up, they start. Everything starts.
Why?
I don't know, but it worked.
Was it good? Did you have a good time?
After I threw up, yeah, it was great.
I can't, dude. I hate throwing up.
But yeah, no, but that DMT that's been in the Cathcart vault. Yeah, I'd partake.
Well,
it's been a while for me.
If I do want to partake in that, I will probably do it solo, and I probably won't tell my girlfriend. And I definitely, not probably, need to buy another instrument for that because someone we know stole mine.
Really?
When he stole my other shit and stole Austin's other shit.
You gotta recap what of yours he stole.
He stole my $340 Audio-Technica microphone.
Oh yeah,
that I didn't even buy. My mom did. And then he also stole my other buddy's $1,100 laptop.
That's cool.
FL Studio that he bought for $200 and a plugin that we both bought for $100. And my nectar collector.
Ooh.
Steal it all. Who needs it? I didn't want it.
I hope he bleaches his hair again. And
it's okay. I have a better mic now. This mic's better than that one.
It is.
So, it actually
has good range.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree. You could be loud with it. Like, you could get over here and you could be like, ah! You know what I mean?
Yeah, see, like, I can be back here. It's just better when I'm right here.
Yeah, well,
I can be
listen,
back
I keep
here.
trying to tell everybody, Gabe keeps talking about that mic, like, can I use this to record? I'm like, yeah, you can, but that mic, it came in a box that I got from the Guitar Center that came with a mic stand.
Yeah.
So it was $40 for a mic stand, a clip, a cord, and something else.
It's good for a show.
And the mic. It was $40. So guess what the mic's worth? About $8. It's not a good mic.
I was gonna say 12.
I'm like, you don't need to be recording music with it, but we could try to use it for this, and then obviously the whole episode he's holding it 14 feet away from his mouth. But so
That's an Elon move, dude.
Right. Hey, looked at it. What did I look at?
Okay. So, to anyone that listens to this, reverting back to the number 66 he was referring to with seeing the numbers everywhere, has it tattooed on him. We looked at the monitor, and Tanner was making some pretty convincing eye contact that whole conversation. We look at the monitor, 66 minutes.
Yeah. So
I'm a believer now.
If you're wondering if it's real, yeah, it is.
It's real. It's
very real.
It's real.
So let's recap here. So here's the thing. It's been only 4 days since they started up that Hadron Collider again. Okay?
Correct.
They're supposed to run it for 4 years straight and not stop. How, even though you're not going to stop it at all for 4 years? That's what I mean. Like, is it literally impossible to shut off? I don't understand. You did it the first time for a year or something or two, and then shut it off for 10 years because you probably went, fuck!
Yeah.
We just fucked something up! And you're like, so for 10, that's a long time, bro. 10 years ago, I was 15, bro.
And let's be honest and assess the situation. Like, if you don't do something for 10 years, like, let's say, I don't want to make it too crude because I want to, it's still a serious topic, but just make an analogy out of it. So let's say, I could say music, but I think sex is a little easier. Let's say you don't have sex for 10 years. Okay, that's a long time. I know some people that haven't had sex in a while. But let's say you haven't had sex in 10 years. Do you think that after 10 years, it's smart to just be like, I'm going to get a running start and just ram it in, no spit, and just go, fuck!
Jump off a trampoline onto it.
Yeah. So,
into it. I mean,
like, let's just say that your love life was pretty certain and solid and everything was going well. But
this is a great analogy.
Yeah, but then you stop. So then you stop, which is weird enough. Like, so you're going to, have intimate relations and then stop. Like, that's kind of weird to just abruptly stop. But then when you start up again, you're like, I'm going to do it even crazier now. So, like, if I came to you and I was like, hey, man, like, I've been depressed for a while. I haven't just been in this scenario to be with someone and ever just, be intimate, have sex with anybody. So from now on, I'm going to get a running start from Giant Eagle.
Diving board,
and I might even tuck my balls just to be funny about it. And I'm just going to just do everything crazier and different than you would imagine. I think it's going to be fine and nothing's going to happen. You'd be like, yeah, I don't know, man. I think you might want to reconsider.
I think I'll advise against that.
Yeah.
So that's what they're exactly what he just said. That's what they're doing with the fucking Hadron Collider in fucking Geneva, Switzerland, bro. They know that they're creating black holes and fucking with the actual space and time continuum, and they're just like, yeah, but we're trying to find dark matter and the Big Bang's real. Hey, first of all, the fucking Big Bang ain't real, bro. If you think that actually happened, all of a sudden there was nothing and something fucking exploded out of nothing because a proton ran into itself at the speed of light, bro, I'm sorry, that didn't happen, bro. that shows you that it didn't happen just based on how long it took us to come up with that idea and build something capable of doing that. Because that fucking shit doesn't happen. This shit's been around forever. We're probably in a fucking video game. Someone's fucking pressing reset on their fucking video game right now, and boop, and that's, you know what I mean?
And it's funny because because that's the adverse. I don't want to specifically say left or right because it's not meant like that. But let's just say what you're saying is the left side. Everyone's like, it doesn't make sense. But then the people that defend it are like, well, what do you have to say? But then the adverse opposite side of that argument is like, well, it's fucking Jesus, dude. You're like, I don't think either one really makes sense.
No.
And they're like, well, you gotta fucking pick a side, man.
No, bro. When they wrote the Bible, they were fucking walking around in the goddamn woods and found fucking magic mushrooms growing out of the fucking ground and ate them, and fucking probably saw a fucking spirit and were like, ah!
Did you hear about ergot? What supposedly started? It was when bread would go bad. They finally learned how to put grain together to make bread. Whenever like they were first putting that shit together to make bread, and the bread would go bad.
And they ate like moldy bread.
And they would eat moldy bread, and at first it had like an alcohol effect, but then it would have the psilocybin effect.
Psychological
and
shit.
They would trip. Yeah.
Yeah, so then they were probably just looking for mold and fucking fungus and shit after they felt like that, literally. And then they found some shit and ate it, and they were like, I saw God. And it might have been. Could have been. Because, let me tell you, when I fucking hit a dab of DMT, I literally, first of all, right away said, why did I do this? Why'd you do that?
Why did I do?
Right away, immediately regretted it. Literally less than 5 seconds later, didn't regret it. Because 5 seconds later, I was gone. Wasn't sitting in there anymore. Closed my eyes. We had cool-ass music playing, like jungle fucking weird shit. Yeah, like cool shit. And fucking, I'm closing my eyes, and all I do is picture myself tiny. Like I could see, like imagine pan way back, like you're fucking flying a helicopter, and you could see these people down on the ground. And I'm literally laying like this in a sheet that looks like a parachute, and two people beings something. All they looked like was white silhouettes. One on my right and one on my left. One holding the sheet in his left hand. The guy on the left holding it in his right hand. And fucking nice. And fucking literally running fast as fuck. And they're holding me in this sheet, this big white sheet. And I'm just like,
they're pulling you.
Fucking just floating like I'm in a kite, dude. And looked at them both, and I'm just like, don't remember saying anything. I just remember like, the fuck, dude? What's going on?
Yeah.
And no words, nothing. And I just was like, it's alright.
Yeah.
We're cool. We're in this big white sheet and we're fucking flying, dude. This is sick. Like, I was just like, okay. That's all I remember. Don't remember seeing any weird shapes, colors, nothing. It was literally a black scene. Me in a white sheet, two white beings, like big fucking like cape, like robes on almost. Just it's so fast. And I'm literally just, and that's it. And started to come to, like, I don't know, it didn't last long.
Like 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
10, 15, you know what I mean? It probably lasts like
10, 15 to do it. Like, if you dab it, it's supposed to be right away. But it's like a process to start.
Right, well, and then when you start coming back, though, you feel so exhausted that those, like, 10 minutes when you're coming back, they make it feel like it's longer. And then I remember he who shall not be named started playing some fucking, like, satanic MGK or something, like, and we're like, oh, and I remember me and Gabe were like, no, like it felt, yeah, like it wasn't cool. Like we were really upset about it, actually. Like it wasn't cool at all. I was very pissed. But that's literally, I know it sounds corny and it hurt my organs to say all those words. So bear, you know what I mean? Like appreciate that I said them. But that's literally exactly what happened. This dude didn't even fucking silence his phone while we started recording this.
Well,
what the fuck, man?
Well, I didn't say something cringy, so I think we balanced it out.
All right, so this was Brad.
This
Lee.
is Brad.
Here's the thing. His first name's Brad. It's not Bradley, but his middle name. And this is not a joke. And this is not a Mandela effect. This is real life. His middle name's Lee.
Yeah, and to be quite honest with everybody, I'm really mad at my mom about it. But
so his first name's Brad and his middle name's Lee. So if you want to call him Bradley, you're not wrong. But his first name is not Bradley.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. So appreciate it, bro. I appreciate you driving all the way the fuck out here, 130, an hour and a half out here. Might have been a little bit less. I appreciate it. We're gonna still hang out for a little bit. It's only 6 o'clock. That was fucking sick, dude.
we should probably plug this. Anything you have going on? Anything I have going on?
Yeah, let's do that, bro. So me and my acquaintance, dannyisaname, he'll make an appearance on this show very soon, I'm sure. We're gonna have to do a lot of practicing with him because that guy's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
I love that guy. I've known all these guys since I was fucking really young. Maybe except for Hensi. Don't think I met him till after we graduated. I don't think. I might have like seen him, like when we were doing shit. But he used to like hang out with John Hecker, which is really weird that I didn't know who that was. Because of that, because we used to, hang out with John Hecker all the time. But yeah, I mean, I've known Brad since, it's got to be 6th grade, because it wasn't 5th grade. I don't remember you in 5th grade.
I went to the school system since I went to Kids First. So
In
I
Olmsted
was
Falls.
so I was right there, and then went to Falls Lennox. So I was always there. I remember you. I think, were you in the trailers at Fitch?
At Fitch, no. I was in Mrs. Schuler's homeroom with Danny and Nick
What about-
Pangalo. And
You were never there 4th grade?
I came in 5th grade,
Okay.
like halfway through.
I think at some point we had a class together. At some point we definitely did.
In 5th grade? Not at
Just
Fitch?
like post Fitch, pre high school. We definitely had a class at some point
In middle
together.
school, yeah, definitely, for sure. Like like we talked definitely in 6th grade at some point.
Yeah.
Probably choir, or were you in band?
No, I was always in choir, but I feel like there was one year that we had a class. Maybe it was like a foreign language or something like that, but we did, or like a whatever, the wheel class. We had one
So
of
a
those
long
together.
time. We've been out of high school for 7 years. That's insane.
We became friendly in high school. It wasn't like bullying, but we just weren't friends before. Danny was definitely after high school. We became cool with each other like junior year. That was Bauer's class.
I had that with you guys, didn't
Yeah. Yeah, because I would do all the online work.
I? Danny was in that class?
No, me and you were.
Oh.
But I would do like everyone's whatever Carnegie online. And I would be like 7 lessons ahead, and I would like snort glucose tablets. And Bauer's like, hey. So.
Dude, I just remember being in that class and taking, I'm pretty sure it was like a midterm or a final. Like it was an important test. And I'll never forget this. I'm a big enthusiast or promoter of saying bless you when somebody sneezes.
This is accurate.
Like
yes.
I definitely am gonna say it to you, even if I don't know who you are. Like if I'm just literally imagine me like on a plane or something. If someone sneezed next to me, I'd say bless you. You got to do it. Yeah. And we were taking a midterm or a final or something, and I sneezed in the middle of the test, and we were like halfway through it, and nobody, because we were taking a midterm. Like I get it, but nobody in the entire class, not even Mr. Bowers, said bless you. And I fucking sat there and I looked up for like probably 5 seconds, and I was like, thanks.
I could like see Mandela Effect. I don't think it was the same time, but I remember that happening with you at a different time, and you said bless you and thanks. Like you waited and it didn't happen, but you were like, bless you, thanks. And just went back to your work. It might have been that time.
I might have done that. No, I definitely could have. But yeah, definitely had the whole the teacher and everybody definitely laughed. Like that was funny as fuck. That was very funny.
What's the name of this? podcast if I want to find it.
It is called When I Wake Up. And I wanted to say this at the beginning. I totally forgot. The acronym, when you like abbreviate it as an acronym, it's WeWoo.
Yeah, so if you want to find this on Instagram, it's WIWU pod. Want to find that. I'm doing some host shit, but that's fine. I can hook the guy up. So
oh yeah, bro.
So Tanner is Setback 440 to find his Instagram. Anything associated with past or future guests, I'm assuming would be tagged on there. dannyisaname, all one word, is his tag as well.
Yeah. And episode 1, that was my cousin again. He's one of my favorite guys. He's kind of a turd, but I love him. His Instagram is King Shreds.
King Shreds, I believe with a Z.
Yeah, I think it's King Shreds.
And
should probably change it. That'd be a smart idea.
I was just gonna say.
No.
My page is my full name without the Lee. Brad Caruso 1. Got my band tagged on there as well.
Check it out, bro. He's in multiple bands.
Play drums in 2 bands. Anything music related to Tanner or his cousin that was on the first episode will all be tagged. You can find him on SoundCloud. Also find him on streaming, like other streaming platforms. SoundCloud first, I would say.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot more music on SoundCloud. But yeah, I mean, in the future there will be plenty music being dropped on all music streaming platforms. We have a song coming out 2 weeks from tomorrow.
And the band that I'm playing drums in, we are releasing a cassette.
Well, there you go.
And having a cassette release show.
There you
That'd
go.
Be cool.
And that'll be fucking dope. We might maybe we'll record something or something for that day when we do that.
Yeah,
stream
that'd
something.
be cool. It's at a record store on the west side.
Fuck yeah. All right,
Mistake by the Lake Records.
Let's actually plan on that.
Yeah.
Is it a weekend?
It'll be far enough in advance to plan it out.
Okay. Yeah, I got time. I can take off work. So we got that song coming out in 2 weeks. Again, this is the When I Wake Up podcast. My name's Tanner. This was Brad. He was guest number 2 on this podcast. Hopefully sometime soon we get to say that this turned into something, because the first and second and first like 10 episodes will be very funny to listen to once we know our shit.
Exactly.
So this was a longer one. I'm pretty pumped to listen to this. I'm definitely going to listen to it while I'm at work. This will be very funny. I appreciate you fucking coming out here, dude.
Absolutely.
That was fucking sick.
Thank you for having me, dog.
Wee woo, bro.
Wee
woo pod on Instagram. This is the When I Wake Up podcast.
Thank you guys very much.
Later on.